there with a knapsack, like my knapsack, white guy. Looked like either a light-skinned Italian or an Irish guy with tattoos. And he's just standing there. So I kind of like look at him. He's looking at me. I look at him. And I take a couple of steps and I make believe I'm looking at my phone because now I have to walk home.
Yeah.
And I start walking. But as I walk in, I turn around and make believe I'm going to look at something. He starts walking. I stop. I let him keep walking. Now, I'm not letting him walk behind me. I want him to walk ahead of me. And it's strange because he was walking straight and I had to go straight and make a left because my house was like maybe four or five blocks. And then I had to make a left, right? Or whatever, 6 blocks away. And I go up into one of the blocks to try to like get again, make him think I'm going that way, but I want to run around him to get behind him again, but I don't want him to see where I'm going, where my house is. And then he starts beelining a diagonal across the street. I regret not trying to run up quicker, but I kept walking and I crossed the street too. So now I'm on this side, but I go on the side with him because he's now heading away from my house on the opposite side. Because I'm thinking obviously he don't know where my house is. And Tom, when I turn that corner, and how long could it have been? From a half a block behind him, and I turn the corner, gone. He's gone. I run down the block to see, did he go down this block? He's not there. Is there a car? And he's gone. He just disappears. Gone.
Shit.
Gone. He's gone, right? A while after that, I'm coming out of my house one day and I see a black guy in a red sweatshirt with dreadlocks on the opposite corner of my house, just standing there. If I tell you this neighborhood, if I took you there today, you would say, no good. I'm talking about Irish Catholic, pearly white neighborhood with their noses up in the air, big money neighborhood, right? You can't even park on a street in this neighborhood. You got to park in the driveway. You can't have your cars on the street. It's like a hamlet. They call it a hamlet. That's what it is.
Isn't that the Irish Riviera or something like that they call it?
I don't know, but it's just like all Irish, right? Yeah. Malvern. Okay. I get in my car and go to approach this guy in a car. He turns around, he starts walking, he's gone. Lose him, right? Dreadlocks, just standing on the corner, standing there. Not on the corner where you can take a bus, but in the block corner. Because there's the other ways in the block. What is this guy doing? And I get closer. What the? He turns around, he goes, that's a one-way. I go up this block, I turn this way and go around the block. He's gone. Another guy gone. Now I know this guy in the restaurant must have said he either lives over here or over here because he told me that he lives very close to my son's restaurant, my son's pizzeria.
Good.
He gives it up. Now I'm going to have to move again, right? And that's when my son comes over one night. At this point, I got my little daughter coming over the house. I'm holding her up high, not like a shield. I'm afraid, God forbid, somebody you don't see at nighttime, they don't see a kid walking low, and maybe somebody's going to start throwing shots over there, and they hit a kid. And I'm like picking her up, I'm making sure the lights are on, and so that if somebody's laying over there, they see that there's a kid there.
Yeah.
And this is getting out of hand, and my son knows this. And he comes over and basically saying, what are you going to do? Because this is not working. What's going on? You got Sophia, my younger daughter coming here. It's my sister's coming here. You're telling me that you've seen another guy. You chased another guy the other day. Obviously, they know where you live now again. And it's not going to stop. And he says, you got to I don't forget this kid. I went away when he was 2, came home when he was 19. He lost me his whole life. And now he's saying, you got to think about me and my sisters, especially my sisters. What good are you dead or what good are you in prison? Because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Either or. So he says, well, why don't we write down on this paper what you could, your options. So here are my options. My options were, again, leave the state, get another apartment, change my job, and all of that. I says, here's the problem. The state is tricky because I could pick another, it's going to cost all kinds of money to go again, get another place, got to start out in hotels and all of that. And what if I pick another state that does the same thing to me where they knock me down for any kind of, even with the background that I had at the time in work, they're knocking me down for my record. That's out. What do I do about it? And I already had to switch my job. I've left that part out. I had to leave that job in Manhattan and go work somewhere else because of this. So here I am running around, changing apartments, changing job, not running to the FBI. Right? This is 8 months. I'm doing this by myself. Right. So we're going over this, and then there's a line down the page, and he writes on the other side. He says, I know you're not going to want to even talk about this, and he writes FBI. What about going to these people and telling them to help you and they'll protect you? And I'm just looking at him, and he's saying, I know you're not going to like it, and I know you're not going to want to consider that, but what are your options? What are you going to do? You're going to wind up either getting killed. They're going to either kill you or you're going to look what just happened. Look what happened over there that day. You're going to wind up killing somebody, or you're going to get caught with this gun, or, and nothing good is going to come out of this. Dad, promise me that you'll think about going to talk to these people. Maybe they'll help you. They'll protect you. What are you going to do? I know that, he knows me, right? I said, well, let me think about this. But, you got to think about me and my sisters. Think about especially my sisters. And, and he leaves. I think it was a Thursday night, right? Tom, I grew up with parents that came from East New York, Brooklyn. I grew up in Ozone Park and Howard Beach. It was like instilled in us. Law enforcement was the enemy. That was the enemy. We knew you don't call the cops, you don't go to the cops, you don't talk, you don't say nothing. I've been involved in things, went away, and nothing. They tried to bring Tony Muscatel up to me when they locked me up on the case that I had. Nothing. John Jr., all that. Try to bring Vito Guzzo's name up to me. Guys that were in trouble at that time. Nothing. I don't talk. I don't say nothing. That's the way we grew up. That's all I knew. I'm holding that paper, Tom. Right? I got the paper. I'm holding that paper, just looking at that paper. Sick to my stomach. I could not leave that house, mainly just sitting with my back up against a couch on the floor. Friday night, Saturday night. I believe Sunday to Sunday night. I don't know if this happens Sunday night or Monday morning, but I believe it was Sunday night or late in the afternoon Sunday. I wouldn't even go out. I wouldn't answer the phone. My son was trying to get me. What the hell is he doing? He's thinking I left. I went in, went there. And I've told this story before, and it's a shame how people will try to say that I'm making it up, but this is what it is.
How could you make this up?
Well, I'm talking about this next part.
Oh.
My grandparents passed away, and I've always been, I think, more spiritual than if I would call myself religious.
Oh, I know where you're going. Yeah.
Right. And I go over to my grandparents' picture, the crucifix and things that I had, and mask and the cards from the wakes and everything. And I pray and say, please, I know I'm not supposed to look for signs, but I need one. Please tell me that I should listen to Nikki. Give me some sign. because I'm not going.
Yeah.
I was not, like, I couldn't do it. And like I've said, I know I've said I didn't live near the train station, maybe it was like whatever, 6 blocks away, but I didn't live, like an L over me,
Yeah.
like I lived in these neighborhoods. That's not the way the trains are there. There was no earthquake. There was none of those things, right? I had a baker's rack because I needed extra room. I had too many dishes and glasses and wine glasses and whatnot. And I also had all the stuff in the cabinets. Tom, it was ding, 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 like an earthquake. That I called my mother up. I said, I want you to listen. This went on. This wasn't just a little tremor. This went on for hours.
What?
Hours, Tom, of vibration in the house. Ding, 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 ding. Everything was dinging. I called my mother up. I says, just what's the matter? I said, I gotta put you on speaker. I just want you to listen. What? Listen. Listen to what's going on here. What is that? I said, you're not going to believe this. I tell her the story. She says, I'm getting the chills right now. I says, I prayed to grandma and grandpa. Listen to what's going on. She said, oh my God. I get off the phone with her. That next day, I said, that's it. That's my sign. I get up, shower, shave, get dressed. Got a Google. I don't know where the hell I'm going. And I wind up going to Manhattan and walking into this place. I like had throw up in my mouth. I wanted to throw up. I felt literally sick to my stomach. And anyway, to speed it up, I was in the wrong place. I go to a terrorist task force place. And at that point, anyway, obviously those guys that came down to talk to me were with the terrorist task force, and they said they would pass this information along. And then obviously all hell broke loose after that.
Wow.
And I'll just give you up to this point. So this is 8 months, and this is what happened. I didn't, I, I don't know. Like my son tells me, do you know how many guys, when they seen the people laying on them that night, after all of that, would have went and did that? And you ran around, went to different states and ran around for 8 months, trying never to do that. I just wanted to be left alone, and they wouldn't stop. Now they made it a point like, well, now you're not coming in, so you're breaking our rule, and now we're going to hunt you down. Because if they have me walk away, maybe they lose, it becomes anarchy. Maybe next week Anthony wants to walk away, and Vinny, 2 months from as well, they let him, John, walk away. I'm going to, nothing happen to him. They didn't kill him. I'm going to walk away, and things like that. But when I walk in and sit down and have a meeting with the right people who were there, obviously, the first words out of my mouth were, using my enemies. And it was like looking at me like, I says, my whole life using my enemies. And that's exactly, that's what took place. And that's
we were gonna do a quick one, and this is episode 48, and this is the most important episode of all the NBA but man, the 9-part new theory. Let's stop this now, meaning we'll get this up, and I guess tomorrow we'll continue with what happens next. Holy shit. I'm like, and I'm bingy to begin with. I have ADHD, if you guys wondering. I was eating hazelnuts because I was like nervous. Like I know kind of parts of the story, but never ever seen like the emotion behind it. When I talk to Jess, different talking on the phone, I know we're not in person, but seeing John's eyes and seeing what he presented today. And the truth of the matter is, whether you could like John or not, like John, not like John, like me, not like me, you could feel the angst and what it took for you to go against every fiber of your being just to survive. And my man, that's a better man than me, man. I'll give you that much.
yeah.
So I just say we just wrap it up. I think we all have to decompress, wow, John. And thank you, because you didn't need to.
Well, it's so many people asking, saying different things, different questions and whatnot. And like I told you, I said, Tom, I hate talking about this, and I
Oh,
hate
no.
all these questions and all of that. And that's it.
Episode 48, rip off the Band-Aid, treachery in the mob. I think that's going to probably be the title. Comments below. Here's the deal, guys. This is a heavy episode. We generally don't delete comments. Just don't be stupid. We're not going to play games. We're not going to go back and forth. The guy that lives in a mother's basement who's we're not playing games. Just a man's life, a man's family. And, you come on here and you friggin', share your deepest concerns and feelings and go against every fiber of what you're being. And John's not a saint. Nobody claims sainthood. We're not sitting there. We're not canonizing anybody anytime soon. But again, it's not about where you start. It matters where you end. And
Yeah, I just my whole life has changed. My whole life is very, very, very different from the way I used to live. My views are very different, as we always say, right? I always say the fishbowl.
yeah.
And I look back. I had told somebody, that person who I was speaking to with you before earlier, I had said to them, I said, there's comments made, and there's comments that say, you were never meant for that life. You're 100% right. And it was a mistake with you in that life. You're 100% right. Because what that life became, I was not meant for that. Right. Where I was a rule follower and everyone broke the rules, I was not meant for that. It was a mistake.